Hi, Leather Rokk here. Just got back from the club, dancing for a couple hours. Well, today I want to show you a real easy eye makeup look. It's not elaborate at all. It only requires 2 eyeshadow colors. Ironically, I'm using the B&H 120 color palette, first edition of this eyeshadow palette. This is, I guess, the brightest of the 6. However, one critique I have noticed in working with this since I got it is most of the shadows are mattes, with a few exceptions, which tend to be some of the lighter colors. It has a few neutrals, especially the ones in the gold and silver range are very, very useful as a highlighter. But the fact that most of them are matte, really, I have not gotten as much use out of this as you would think I would have. But then again, when you think there's 120 and it's not always the most portable palette because the handbag issue, and I have dropped it a couple of times, and as you can see, I have dinged it. So, but I'm going to show you the easy way to get what I got here. Now, this is a very current Runway current look. It doesn't require any blending. It involves a shade like this. It is basically a fuchsia kind of purple, a little bit less of a pink fuchsia. Let me turn the light out, give you a better idea. It's this one here, and you can see here. And what you do, I'm going to do this before I put the light back on. You apply it. You don't really scrub. You pat it on. You want to definitely have a primer for this to grab onto. I've shown you this product before. I really love this. It's by Max Factor. It's called First Coat, and it looks kind of like white face, but not quite. And you put it on your eyelid like a foundation, and it gives eyeshadows like this something to adhere to. It won't crease on you. You don't need setting powder or anything. You can dance all night. I just did. Trust me on this. Pat this on like this, and you go right over the eyelid. You're not blending it. You go from the lashes to just above the crease. Pat it, pat it, pat it, pat it, pat it. Get it like this. Same thing on the other eye. Pat it, pat it, pat it. You don't want to sweep. I mean, you want to even it out. You want to get it as symmetrical as possible. Sometimes I do my foundation from here up to here. Then I do my eyebrows, and then after I do my makeup, then I'll do my foundation so that crumblies from my eyeshadow don't get underneath here, because it's better to prevent mess than to clean it up, and especially if you want to hurry up and get out the door. Tonight I was listening to really great heavy metal music, and then I just now got off done. I was dancing, and then I just had a workout. So the thing is, the point of the matter is you want your makeup to stand up to all that stuff, and this actually did. But you take this matte and you pat it on both eyes, okay? Put this brush down. Then you take another brush, and I used the palest gold in this, and this is a metallic, and it is, now if you got a very, 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 very dark skin, I don't know if you would want to use this, because the whole idea of the eyeshadow that I'm using above here is you want to use something that is close to your actual natural skin tone. And what I did was I just followed just underneath my eyebrow on both, very carefully, not touching this. The whole idea, you're not trying to blend. Most of the time, you're going to be trying to do some kind of blending. Even if you're going to a nightclub, you want to have some kind of subtlety. This is not, you don't have to worry about that. You want to try not to mix them. You also want to try not to get it into your eyebrow color. So just, sometimes you have to keep on checking the brush. Sometimes you wipe it on yourself. I recommend textured paper towels for wiping off residue that may be getting on brushes that you're still using. A textured paper towel is good for that, and it's also good for remembering a palette of eyeshadow. You say you just got to look and you want to remember for future reference, put them on a textured paper towel, and then you can write down the names of the eyeshadows and stuff. for future reference. If it's a color scheme that you really, really, really love, you know, it goes with some outfits and stuff. I mean, it's so easy. And the texture, and if you moisten it first, and then you put the eyeshadow on, you will seriously, here, this isn't even moist, well, yeah, this isn't very textured, but trust me, do this. Now, part of what I wanted to do today is not just show how to do a makeup thing. I wanted to talk about some Clublife. I wanted to talk about Bally's and Caesars. They're owned by the same company right now, I think, they have for a while. And if you have ever been to any of the restaurants, let me give you a personal recommendation. There's a Chinese restaurant there called Kwai. Now, this hasn't been, this had to be 3 or 4 years ago, but one time I was with a couple of acquaintances and we got some comps from some high roller friend of theirs. And Kwai is a Chinese restaurant. And I had, first of all, the rice alone that they steam is so amazing. I'm sure it's just a jasmine rice, maybe a basmati. No, I think it's a jasmine rice. But even that, without soy sauce or sesame oil or anything, is the most heavenly. I would really like to find out what brand they use, because I like to think of myself as a connoisseur of rice. But I think I had the lobster fried rice when I was there. A lot of times I will have duck when I'm in a Chinese restaurant. There's something so sublime about roast duck over a bed of rice with maybe some Chinese greens over top of it or something. But really, anyway, if you're looking for a place to go and you love Chinese food, it's not cheap, I'll tell you, but Kwai is really good. And there's a place that I am really intrigued by. It's owned by Gordon Ramsay, the British chef that kind of goes off with the mouth. Well, I haven't eaten there yet, but I have noticed the uniforms of some of the servers. They have this black and red, like not a tartan, some kind of plaid. I don't know. I think it is the cutest thing. They're totally the kind of dresses that I would wear because they're really short. Okay, they go in at the waist. I think the girls were even wearing fishnet stockings with them. Now, you know me, they would be short enough so that I could wear the garter belt and the stockings and everything. But I mean, they have kind of punk rock elements and they have kind of fetishy elements, and they are body conscious. And the girls wearing them look absolutely adorable. And I mean, I'm not cut out to be a waitress. I tried to cocktail waitress when I lived in Hollywood at a club, which I will not name. And I learned like certain things, like I cannot bounce a tray of Corona long neck drinks to save my life or yours. I chip cocktails off of balconies, and I'm lucky that people didn't get killed. Okay, I appreciate the people that have the patience and the balance to do it, and wading through all the people and dealing with the people trying to grab them and stuff. That's hard work, that's just drinks. And if you can balance trays of food, I applaud you. But things you learn you can't do too well, right? But anyway, these uniforms are so adorable, and I don't know who the designer is. Must be some fancy designer, but I would like to buy one of them. I would wear them. Like I said, I would tart it up with, my doodads and stuff, but my God, they're adorable. So anyway, Gordon Ramsay's restaurant at Bally's. I want to give a shout out to my security guard fans at Bally's. I'm not going to name any names, but thank you for watching my channel. I had such a good time today. I didn't get a chance to find out who the DJ was. There was a heavy metal program that I was listening to on the radio on WMGM. It's called WMGM Presents the Ball. It's on every Saturday night from 12 midnight to 2 a.m. And that's why a lot of times on Saturday nights when I go out, I don't go out until after 2 o'clock, because I really love my heavy metal music and I get to listen to it. And I was listening to it on my radio, and look what happened. I dropped it. It was plugged in, and it was on my desk right next to my computer. And I guess I tripped over a cord or something, and I dropped it many times, and it finally is bit the ghost. So, but I got to listen to some really great heavy metal music. They even played a Japanese band called Loudness. And I mean, I saw them at the Philadelphia Spectrum. They opened up for Motley Crue. I won't say what year. It was in the 80s. So I got to hear that, and then I went to Bally's, and I wish I knew who the DJ was. I got there. I usually miss the band when I go there. And I couldn't go out last night because we had a nor'easter. It was really crazy. The winds were so hardcore. Trash cans were blowing around. Metal aluminum siding was blowing around, scraping on the ground. There was a jitney sign that was on the ground. There was the street was obstructed because other trash cans were out there, and when people were parking, they had to move trash cans. I was almost concerned that the roof was going to peel off. So nobody was going to any kind of clubbing that I knew of yesterday unless they were in one of the hotel properties, and I guess a lot of things were closed or postponed last night. So I was really glad to go out tonight. And oh, and another thing I want to talk about, since I said that we were going to talk about club life tonight. Now, I don't usually dance with people when I go to clubs, and when I do dance with people, usually I dance with somebody for one or two songs, and then on to the next, and there's no rhyme or reason what the demographics are of the people, and it's mostly guys, but I dance with girls too, and you never know, and even though a lot of times people are drunk. And so tonight I was not even really on the dance floor because a couple of people had dropped their drinks, and I was kind of staying away from where puddles of drinks were because I was wearing these sneakers that kind of have a leopard print, and I don't want to get them ruined, right? Oh, man, I had the light off this whole time. Okay, so anyway, I was standing over in a carpeted area of Bally's, and this guy came up to me, and he kind of motioned like he wanted to dance, right? And he smelled real good. Now, let me give you some advice. Just as a girl who likes to go out dancing and has been to clubs coast to coast, and if the music is good, and especially now, I work out. Okay, I work out, I lift weights, I do boxing moves, I do a lot of abdominal work. I just got off, I was going to film this, and I saw that this guy that I work out with his videos was on TV right now. I said, there's no reason not to do it. Do it now rather than my wait until I do this, and then I'm going to think I'm going to get to sleep before the church wakes me up. And you make excuses. You have to make time for the things that are most important for you in life. And fitness is very important for me. So I made time to do it. So that's why I just came from doing this video. I mean, doing the workout. So anyway, I am there at the carpet area, and this guy wants to dance with me. And I say, sure, And he was wearing whatever the oil or cologne or something he was wearing. I think it was oils or something. It reminded me of incense that I have smelled around witches' altars, total witchcraft stuff. And now, not all incenses that are burned in witchcraft smells good. Like, for instance, something like rose petals, that doesn't smell good. That just smells like burning leaves. But this smelled, and it didn't smell like a typical men's fragrance, men's cologne. I don't care for most men's fragrances, really, but this smelled very witchy. Right now, I'm showing you a bunch of bottles of oils and things that witches might have, and some of them smell quite amazing. I couldn't put a finger on it. I don't think it was a single herb. I think it was a blend of some kind. It smelled really good, and I really appreciate people and things that smell good on dance floors, because so many times when you're on a dance floor, you smell a whole lot of stale beer. You smell all kinds of mixed drinks, even though the Bally's is cool in one way because it has a very, very high ceiling. So smells don't really stay too long. I'm still bothered by secondhand smoke, and when I smell that, I try to get away from it because I really can't tolerate it. When I was younger, maybe I could tolerate it some because there was just kind of, in some ways, you kind of accepted it even though you didn't like it and everything. But I'm glad that it's less legal in public places and it's easier to breathe. But this guy smelled really good, and if you smell good, that's a greater chance that I'm going to dance with you. And I don't usually dance with somebody for too long because frankly, I don't like to be commandeered on the dance floor. I like to walk around, and I like to dance with lots of different kind of people. I like to see who's out there. You never know if 10 feet away there's going to be Mr. and Mrs. Right. You just don't know. And especially considering that with the lights being dim and stuff, you can't really see too well. You really want to behooves you to move around, So anyway, he smelled really good, and music wasn't half bad. I wish I knew who the DJ was, because some of the DJs that are usually on are on vacation now. So it was somebody different. I had no idea. I didn't get the AC Weekly before I left the house. I didn't have time to check the website online because today was also my posting day. So, and I was promoting it all day. So I didn't have time to check to see who the DJ was or anything. I just knew that it was a day that we didn't have a nor'easter blowing around. I wanted to go out. So I went out. I really wanted to hit the dance floor. That's what I wanted to do. And this guy smelled good. And we danced on the carpet for like a good half hour, maybe. I don't know how long it was. And then he said, motion, let's dance on the dance floor. Fine. I'll go out there. And I mean, there's actually some room that you could really cut a rug. And DJ was playing some really fun stuff. And now I'm not a fan of hip hop. I really don't care for it. I can, deal with it in small doses and stuff. And they did play some, but it was actually fun hip hop. And music was fun, and the people seemed like they were having a good time. There's all different kinds of dressed people. And Bally's is one of those places where now I usually prefer to wear high heels when I go out clubbing because I feel more dressed up. I see shoe envy when I'm wearing flats and I see girls or whoever wearing high heeled shoes. I feel shoe envy because they're wearing these fancy dressy shoes. But the one nice thing about Bally's Wild Wild West is because of the uneven dance floor, which I don't understand why it's still uneven, but won't even go there. You feel that it's okay to wear flat shoes. Therefore, you can be comfortable. Therefore, you can really cut a rug when you dance. If you're dancing with couples, you can turn around and do all kinds of fun things. If people are drunk, there's more leeway, I guess. You can really be comfortable. And it's much better than wearing high-heeled shoes, being in pain, not having flats to change into, dancing in barefoot, which is dancing not only you're asking for spreading a disease or getting infection in your foot or something, but you can be stepped on and really be injured. So it's a safety issue. And plus, you want to be barefoot and walking in. I saw 3 different people drop drinks today. And okay, it's a good thing that they were just plastic cups, but still, I mean, do you want to be, and these people walk around barefoot. So if you're wearing comfortable shoes to start out with, you don't have to worry about that. And that's a great thing about Bally's. So we danced for a while, and then all of a sudden, it occurs to me that he doesn't speak much English, and he's trying to buy me a drink. Now, I take my earplugs out. I wear earplugs all the time when I go out, right? And we go toward the saloon, the Boardwalk Saloon bar. And then he's trying to buy me a drink. He says, Corona, tequila, blah, blah, blah. And I try to explain to him that I don't drink. No, thank you. I don't drink anymore. And then second time he said it, and I say it a little bit slower. And I didn't know how to explain to him that I didn't want to drink alcohol, that I don't do it anymore. I mean, I literally tried 4 or 5 different times. I was almost going to take out a bar napkin and write it down, but he said something like not much English or not, he could not speak. I mean, I did not know how to communicate with him. And it also occurred to me that he probably, even though I didn't smell it on his breath. See, that's the thing. People that are drinking usually have that alcohol, whatever it is they're drinking, usually they reek of it. And this guy smelled good. This guy smelled like he's wearing some kind of witchcraft oil or something. And until he started to asking me repeatedly about what do I want to drink and drink and mentioning all these things. And I was trying to explain to him that I don't do it anymore. And I finally said alcoholic. And not that I think of myself with that label. I just wanted, and then I started to try to explain to him. And I mean, if he doesn't understand English, why would I even be saying this? But trying to say alcohol made me stupid. Alcohol is dangerous. And I couldn't explain to this guy. And I didn't want to do this because I really enjoyed dancing with him. And he was not really ugly or anything. But I finally just had to walk away. And, well, first I went out to see if they had a TV Atlantic because my roommate likes the TV listings, and I've not been able to find this newspaper for a couple of months now, and it wasn't there. So I went back and I went through Bally's. I walked around some because it's always fun to sightsee and stuff because by then the music had cut off abruptly. And I don't know what time it was because I don't carry a cell phone and I wasn't wearing a watch. And so I walked out of Bally's and up through Caesars. And then that's when I always like to walk past Gordon Ramsay's because I like to look in the window. They have this bulldog thing with the British flag. And I always like to look at my reflection in the mirror. And I always like to look at Gordon Ramsay's because I just love the layout. I love the woods. And it's supposed to, I guess, look like a British pub, and I've never been to Britain, so the only British pub I've ever been to is there's this place called the Cat and Fiddle in Los Angeles that I love very much, that is a British expatriate bar, that I celebrated my birthday and it was also an election day, and we were going to find out who was going to be our president, if it was going to be George Bush or not, and it turned out it would take a month for us to find out and everything, and that was when I still lived in LA. So anyway, I had very fond memories of that British bar. So, but I have never been in Gordon Ramsay's, and since I don't drink, of course, that kind of colors how I go to bars and clubs, because dancing places I can dance, but if I don't drink, what am I going to do? Drink sodas and watch the World Cup? I mean, if they would welcome that, I don't know, but I'm not going to pay $8 for a soda either, you know. And some places, just because you're drinking alcohol, they're not going to treat you like a designated driver. You're going to spend $5 on a soda or something. I'm not going to spend $5. And I probably don't want to spend $3 on a soda. I mean, I'd rather drink something like a Virgin Bloody Mary or something. Because that's the thing, is that I like certain drinks that I like. I always like the fancy mixed drinks and the things that tasted real good, you know. And then on the other hand, would I drink something that was virgin? Would it make me feel sad because I see all these other people around me, some of which might be good looking, and they're drinking alcohol, and I know that I can't do that anymore. And that's the thing, the only issue I have with going to clubs and going to bars, because I can hang out as a person that hasn't drunk since 2004, okay? I can go to clubs and I can go to bars, and it doesn't bother me to be in an alcohol environment, because I know that I'm not going to reach for a drink, a cocktail, and I'm not going to do it. That just is not a part of my life anymore. I already had the switch already was flipped, and I know that that is not a good thing in my life. I know it is nothing but harmful for me. I wish other people would see it in themselves. Why it's even still a thing, I don't know, but that's just the way it is. And when you go in the club scene and you see that a lot of times the DJ will be telling people, encouraging people to go to the bartender and tip your waitresses, which sure, tip your service people, I understand that. But just in saying, have you had drinks yet? And you have some of these songs say, is everybody getting drunk? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you see some of these people that they're slashing their drinks around and stuff. And I really worry about some of them thinking, can you say alcohol poisoning? I mean, I don't miss drinking, and I think of how dangerous it was, and I think of the close calls I had, and sometimes it's sad when I meet people in clubs, and if you try to talk to them, and it's just like, how drunk are you, man? Are you fucked up? Let's have a cocktail. And I'm like, I don't do that anymore, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer or anything, but what bums me out is when the people say, why? And it's like there's no language barrier. They could speak the Queen's English, but they don't understand why a person would choose not to drink. And it's like, if you have the time, and I feel like taking my earplugs out, I can tell you why I came to the realization that alcohol was too dangerous and my life was better off not doing it anymore. Because that's what it is. It took me to wake up one morning with the realization that there's one little tiny change I can make in my life that would make 95% of my problems go away, and that was to stop drinking. And I did, and that was just as plain as day. It wasn't a religious experience, even though at the time I thought it was the voice of God. Now I just realized maybe it was my own higher, more intelligent self, or I don't know, tapping into the Akashic records. I don't know. I don't want to claim any kind of supernatural thing, but my life was vastly improved by my decision to quit drinking. But I go into clubs because I love to dance, and where are you going to go to clubs that don't have alcohol, right? And the music was better than I thought it was going to be tonight. So, okay, you've got a quick, easy, uncomplicated. Oh, I didn't tell you all the rest of the things that I did in this eye look. How dumb of me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, there was a little bit more to this eye look than this. First of all, I'm using a different eyeliner right now. And this is not a waterproof one either. This is a Maybelline New York Master Precise Eye Studio in Black Negro Noir. And look at this. I'm going to do some of this on my hand. Check this out. Okay, can you see this? It's a very thin line. Look what happens when I put it. See, I could touch it right to my eyelid like this, going, dun, dun. This stayed up to sweaty dancing. Oh, you like how I did this? I winged it like a fishtail. It didn't budge. I'm telling you. The only thing is, though, when I went to the club, I walked on the boardwalk, okay, and I was wearing a hoodie jacket, and I don't know that it was that windy. It was like 41 degrees maybe, and you're like right on beach, kind of, right? And there was like some kind of smudge on my cheek, which as soon as I saw it, I wiped it off. But I didn't even have to reapply my lipstick. Oh, and if you want to see the lipstick that I use, it's a Milani. It's called Magenta Madness. Is this color to die for or what? Oh my God. Mm, oh. Mm, mm, mm. I love this color. And you know what? It smells kind of like grape perfume, but not really strong. It's really subtle. I mean, if you're annoyed by heavily fruity fragrances, this is subtle. It won't get on your nerves. I mean, the only fruit fragrances that really get on my nerves are like banana. I think that's kind of disgusting. This bubblegum scent. This one here, see something that smells disgusting? I hate to say it, by LA Colors, the Lip Duo. And it says, what's the color? Vibe. And this is also what I'm using for my eyebrows, by the way. But the smell of it, it smells like bubblegum. And I love the color, but I hate the smell. And what I do is I use the applicator for the lip gloss. I take the lip gloss off. And after I get my eyebrows with some of this, I brush my eyebrows up, get it with some of this, right? And then I use this part, and I just make it precise. I mean, I'm not creating something that I don't have. I'm bushing it up a little bit, and I'm following the natural curve of my eyebrows, because I'm lucky in that I got my father's bushy eyebrows, except unlike my father, my eyebrows are see-through because I was born a redhead. So if I didn't accentuate them, since I can't color it with henna anymore because that black henna that I tried, I had the PPD reaction, which you can watch the video about that if you want to see how I messed up my eyebrows. And that's why I, unfortunately, am not able to wake up to the beautiful eyebrows that I want right now. But anyway, that's how I did my makeup. Oh yeah, the foundation was the L'Oreal True Match in W1 Porcelain. Turn the light out for that. That is what I use on my face. And I did use some highlighter from the B&H Blacklight Highlight Palette. A lot of times I use this blue, and I'm using the hell out of this. Oh, I love this. Look how much pan I'm hitting on this. I love, 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 love this. I use the pink one here. Now, this is a pink one with, like, blue highlights in it. This is, like, a pink one that's almost got lavender highlights in this. So this one's almost kind of more subtle than the other ones. But when it's more subtle, you can use more. And I use that kind of a lot. And there's a single color that I've been using for my contour that I have been using for my contour, and I love it. And it's actually an eyeshadow. And this is a CoverGirl Professional Eye Enhancers in Jammin' Improvisation. It's a matte, very subtle, darker purple that is very muted. It doesn't look, I mean, it looks purple when you stand away, but I mean, it's subtle when you blend it. And that's what I use. And I love this brush. It's a B&H brush that I got from the Sculpt and Blend, Mini Sculpt and Blend brush set. And how you do this. It's not a bronzer, it's a contour. It's different because bronzers are usually warm, and this is obviously a cool tone. Go underneath the cheek. Go like that. See? I guess I might have had a little bit of wear with the sweat that I had earlier. See how that just brings out? So that was how I did my makeup. Oh, and I used the mascara that I've been raving about. This B&H Fierce Volume Extreme Mascara. I'm telling you guys, I love this mascara. I didn't have to make a whole bunch of coats. Let me show you. I almost wasn't going to do any underneath because I wanted to make sure that you could really notice the under eye a lot. And plus, I was concerned about having any kind of smudging because especially, it's bad enough if it happens throughout the day when I'm at home doing whatever. But if I'm going out dancing, the last thing I want to be worried about is having raccoon smudges when I'm out on the dance floor. I don't want to have to worry about that. And then all of a sudden I think I'm fine until if I feel that when you get sweaty, you know how above your eyes it gets real wet, and I know that feeling. Then I'll go in the ladies' room and I'll check. And if I see like an Alice Cooper thing that's going on, I mean, that pisses anybody off, you know? So I don't want to have to worry about that when I'm out. So, and this stuff, I love it when something that's not even claiming to be waterproof stays put. And I gotta say something about this. This Maybelline New York Master Precise by Eye Studio, this stayed put. Okay? Now, the only thing because I put it on, what time I put it on? I put it on, say, 9:30. Okay? I came home, say, 4:30. It had faded a little bit. And I just intensified it a little bit before I filmed this because, you know, I worked out and I went right on camera like 5 minutes after the workout thing was over, okay? And I was doing boxing and stuff. I just intensified it a little bit underneath the eyes to make up for the fading, but that's it. This stuff that isn't even waterproof stayed put. However, I know it's not waterproof because I experimented with running water in the shower. If you rub on it, it will come off. So a good thing about this, it's easier. It can come off faster. So instead of having to put an oil on and do the circular thing, sometimes there's advantages of having something that comes off easily. But, you know, hey, it stood up to my dancing. That's a good thing. So, anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. You know, you got a little bit of makeup, you got a little bit of club life, and you got a little bit of a why I don't drink anymore. So it's almost like an AA testimony, even though I don't go to meetings anymore because, frankly, I don't need a group to tell me that I'm doing okay because I know I'm doing okay. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed it, I'd love to have you subscribe. And you can hit that bell notification thingy. And if you do, you'll find out when I make my next upload. It should be 3 times a week for your viewing pleasure. That's Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays if I don't have breaking equipment. Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.